Hi everyone. Today I'm going to teach you about something called a radian. Okay, what a radian is, or radians, are a way to measure an angle. Up until this point, we've been talking about degrees. If the full circle is 360 degrees, we can break each circle or triangle into parts called angles. Now, today we're going to look at what is defined as a radian. So what a radian is a different way to measure angles, usually used for circles. Okay, there are 2 pi radians in a circle, and the way we find that out is do an exploration where if we take the radius of a circle, this red line, and bend it around the circle, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 28%, or about 28% of another radius. So you get 6.28 or 2 pi radiuses of a full circle. And this purple angle is what is matching with this central angle. So this radius angle and this one are the same. So there's 2 pi radii around the full circle. And that's why the circumference formula is C equals 2 times pi times r. So a lot of times when we're measuring angles inside of a circle, we're going to use radians instead of degrees. So what we're going to see is that a circle has 360 degrees, but a circle also has 2 pi radians. And radians are almost always going to be in terms of pi, where pi is half of the circle and 2 pi is the full circle. So 2 pi equals 360 degrees, and pi equals 180 degrees. And we're going to use that pi and 180 relationship to convert back and forth from degrees to radians. So if I give you degrees and want it in radians, or I give you radians and you want it to be in degrees, we can convert. So converting from degrees to radians, okay, we're going to multiply by pi and divide by 180 because they're the same, they're just in different units. This is unit conversion similar to science, where you had to convert minutes to hours, or seconds to hours, or hours to seconds. So what we do for 240 degrees is multiply by pi and divide by 180 and simplify. So 240 divided by 180 is 4/3, times pi is 4/3 pi radians. And converting from radians to degrees, if I see a pi, pi is 180, so I can just replace it. So radians to degrees, I think, is a little bit easier, or at least it has less steps. So let's go through a few examples. We'll go through start to finish. So convert 3 pi over 2 radians to degrees. So if I want to know where 3 pi over 2 on my unit circle was, and right now I have only degrees, I could say, well, pi is 180 degrees. So 3 pi over 2 equals 3 times 180 divided by 2, and that's 270 degrees. So 3 pi over 2 radians is 270 degrees. And then if I wanted to convert degrees to radians, I start with my 300 degrees, but I want pi in there. So I can multiply by pi and divide by 180 because that's a fancy one. Pi divided by 180 is a conversion. So I have 300 divided by 180 times pi, and 300 divided by 180 is 5/3 times pi. So 5/3 pi radians. And once again, my radians are in terms of pi. So you can now go and fill out your entire unit circle. I'd recommend practicing a few. So all of these, so we had all of the angles in degrees. Now we're going to have all the angles in radians as well. And the really important ones to know are that 180 is pi, and then half of that, pi over 2, is 90, and the full circle is either 0 radians or 2 pi radians, just like it's 0 degrees or 360 degrees. And then we're going to use fractional parts of the circle to find out our other radians.